Hello everybody, welcome. Issue 67, Combat Patrol magazine. So covering the Neophyte Hybrids, part 1 of 2 again. Here's the sprue. Some artwork on there, Neophyte Hybrids, having a scrap with someone. And Dynasty Cults attachments, and some Combat Patrol rules. So let's jump straight into the first page. And it's our how to build your Neophyte Hybrids. Unless the instructions say otherwise, you're free to choose which head you want to attach to each model. So, variety of heads there. Your Neophyte leader first, with his leader pistol. The leader carries a particularly powerful sidearm. And then our Neophyte Hybrids, with the Colt icon. With our seismic cannon. Then the heavy stubber, a Weber, some hybrid firearms, and that concludes them. So, Insurrection, read F Fiction 15. So, leave that this here just for a little bit. Anyone wants to have a read. And then we'll move on. Carrying on with the lore here. Let's make sure this page is open properly, so if anyone that does want to read, they're reading the whole article. And there we have the group of neophytes there. And moving on. One more page. And then we move on to our Neophyte Hybrids. Collect G Dynasty Cults 06. So you can choose to give your second unit Neophyte Hybrids the same background as your first unit, if you'd like. This suggests that they have long fought and conspire together upon their target world, or you can select a new background from the options below to create a sense of ragtag force of desperate revolutionaries. So your table with your unit name, you build, you paint, you play. And we have our data sheet here for them, with a variety of weapons, ranged weapons and melee weapons, and their abilities, deep strike and cold ambush, with the keywords. So it is now our Play H campaign 17. Campaign Dynasty the Cults versus Space Marines. So the Space Marines face down a hidden enemy, the Zealous swarming thralls of the Dynasty the Cults. The very fate of this system hangs in the balance, and neither side can afford to falter. No quarter, no mercy. So it's a scorched earth scenario. And I'll leave that there just a sec. Anyone wants to read. And then our factions that we're using, Colts and Space Marines. Was it a Colt victory? Or was it a Space Marine victory? And then, moving on again to another campaign, Colts versus the Nids, Play H, Campaign 18, Sweeping Raid. So the Dynasty Colts are embattled by the Splinter Fleet of the Tyranids, whether it's a test of faith or an esoteric punishment from the Star Children. The ravenous Tyranids show no mercy, not even on their progeny. So the Colts there, Tyranids. So leave that there, and we'll have a quick read of that one. And then moving on. Was it Dynasty Colts victory or a Nids victory? So Genesteer Cult's faction ability. Cult Ambush is a faction ability that allows you to replace a destroyed unit later on in the battle. This gives your combat patrol army tactical flexibility, and it forces your opponent to make careful decisions about which units to focus upon, each objective they wish to contend, and their placement on the battlefield. So there's Cult Ambush here. When playing a combat patrol battle, in battle rounds 4, 5, you cannot set up any units that are in the Cult Ambush on the battlefield. So we've got some markers here. So on the back cover of this issue, you'll find a set of Cult Ambush markers to use in your game's combat patrol. Cut these markers out carefully and keep them somewhere safe. Many Warhammer hobbyists create their own markers and tokens, so if you even feel ambitious, all you need are some 32mm bases and a great idea. So that's what we're going to see on the back page of this magazine. So we go into our Cult Ambush tutorials, destroy cultists. So here's our little scenario here. So we'll leave it there, and once I read, I'll see this will be covered hopefully very soon in a battle scenario that will be on this channel, fingers crossed. But it definitely will be. So, Genesteer Cult's Combat Patrol rules. When you play games of Combat Patrol, you can make choices about the special rules, abilities that will apply to your army during the game. You can choose between enhancements that benefit your leader, secondary objectives that your army is trying to achieve, and stratagems for your army to use. So we move on to our enhancements there. Magus, so shield, or resonance stave. So there's our two there. Secondary objectives: rise up, or will of the patriarch. Stratagems. Stratagems allow you to spend your command points and tactical ploys and maneuvers to gain an edge in the battle. You can learn more about command points by reading through C, Core Rules 3, page 11. So, defend the Magus, lurking killers, and return of the shadows. And here, on the end page, we have a Genesteer Cult's ambush markers to cut out. So 3, 6, 9, 12 they give you. Use these Cult ambush markers in your game of combat patrol when using the Genesteer Cult's Cult ambush ability. And that is it. Look forward to our part 2 of 2 to finish our Neophyte hybrids. Also be covering Outrider Broods, and the campaign continues. And then issue 69-70 is our 2-part of our Goliath Rock Grinder, Cult of the Four-Armed Emperor, and the Old Ways. And that concludes the video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all very soon for our part 2 of 2, Combat Patrol issue 68. So take care and stay safe.